Hey guys, it's Edwin here, and today I want to talk about how to stop being manipulated in life. In one way or another, we have all been manipulated in life from work, family, relationships, or even just the general public. And when it comes to manipulation, regardless of the techniques used, it always involves a manipulator influencing you to do as they wish by playing with your emotions. In case of relationships, you are being manipulated by someone who wants to control you. So if you want to stop being manipulated in life, it's actually about you doing something about it. It's about you not allowing your emotions to be toyed with. Tactics like, of course, avoiding manipulators or learning about manipulation techniques may help, but they won't help you in the long term because manipulation is everywhere and you cannot avoid life in itself. So, how do you stop being manipulated in life? I'm going to share some of the things you can do practically, and start with the easiest ones which you can even implement from today. Stay tuned. The first thing that will help you from being manipulated in life is to set and uphold clear boundaries. When you have clear boundaries, it means that you deeply understand what you cannot tolerate and what you can tolerate in life. And with boundaries, people will not take advantage of you because you just know your values, your limits, and what you stand for. And once you understand your boundaries, you have to be able to say no and walk away from someone who crosses your boundaries, even if it upsets them. Regardless of if that person is a friend, parent, partner, or just someone close to you, you have to be firm with those boundaries. Do not just have those boundaries for PR or just as a piece of or on a piece of paper. Have them as part of your being, because the moment you lower them, it means you are vulnerable to manipulation. And the other thing is, the manipulators are never really out there like strangers out there. The manipulators are the people who are closest to us, because they are the people who we are emotionally connected to more. So keep your boundaries, even if it's with your loved ones or your family, and you'll not be manipulated. The second thing you have to do is to build your self-esteem so that you can be deeply secure within yourself. With healthy self-esteem, you'll be rooted in the truth of the matter without bothering so much about what the other party is doing. You'll not be easily flattered by those empty words from another, because you deeply understand that you are just good enough as you are. You'll also not allow someone to walk over you as they wish, because you can voice your opinions or assert your boundaries with a lot of ease. And when you are deeply secure, you'll not even be threatened by those false pretenses aimed at taking advantage of you. You'll just be secure as who you are. See, the thing is, when you have low self-esteem, you'll be easily swayed by a manipulator, because they say what you want to hear, like validation and approval. They say what you lack deep within you, like you lack self-validation. So they feed you with it on the outside level. Like they tell you like, oh, you are looking good today, because deep inside you know you are not looking good. You focus so much on what they are telling you. So it's like your low self-esteem is feeding on those words, on those fake words. And when you seek validation and approval from other people, you'll be priming yourself for manipulation. But when you have healthy self-esteem, you are just a whole being who doesn't need constant reassurance from another human being who is also struggling or has a distorted worldview. The third thing you have to do so that you avoid being manipulated is to understand that we are conditioned. So, we have to understand that the moment we are born, we are fed with norms and beliefs. So, we come with an empty plate, but the environment and the people around us will serve us with what they know, and the cycle keeps going on and on. So, we grow up with those beliefs we acquired in childhood as facts. So, in fact, that's the first instance of necessary manipulation in life, because we have to learn from someone, like from a parent or from an adult around us, or start somewhere. So when you have some norms or perspectives you are not supposed to challenge because of culture or your background, then it means that you are already under the spell of manipulation. Because if you cannot challenge something, it means that that thing is influencing the way you act or influencing the way you live your life. This is the least talked about form of manipulation, but the one also which carries the most weight. Let's talk about some of the common examples that probably cut across most cultures. Like, do as your parents say, or marriage is eternal. So when those norms are deeply entrenched deep within you, it will mean that you are already being manipulated to do what your parents or what your partner wishes. Because you will do as they wish without questioning them, because you don't want to upset them, or you don't want, or you'll feel guilty if you don't do it, or you're even afraid of being cast, because you have to follow those norms without really doing something extra. You just have to do it. You might, of course, not do it as they say completely, but and make some slight modifications, but you are doing it even when deep inside you just don't want to do it. Isn't that like grand like manipulation? Let's go back to the definition of manipulation. Doing something against your wish. So you are doing something because the norms and the beliefs dictate you do it. So it means that you are being manipulated, but you're not even aware of. And to put the icing on this manipulation cake, you think you are doing this, or you are doing it as a show of love, which is actually very, very false, because love will never come out of duty or have to. So we are all manipulating one another in a subtle way because of our norms and beliefs. So the moment you understand that we are all conditioned, and actually nothing will happen if you break those rules, then you are free from the matrix. So when you understand that this conditioning is forcing you to do something which you are not supposed to, which you don't want to do, you are then able to execute those boundaries with everyone, regardless of what those norms are telling you to do so. It's more of challenging those commonly held norms and just being inwardly free to live as a loving human being, and not as someone who has a duty to uphold, or not as someone who's being forced to do something. I'm not saying that it's wrong to do something to your parents or your friends. No, you just do it, but it's not like doing it as if it's a duty. It's doing it because you just want to. Hope that makes sense. Of course, I'm also conditioned, but I'm still unlearning most of the things. So, as for you, give your all and challenge those things you are afraid of challenging, and you'll not be prone to manipulation. Because if you hold those commonly held, if you stick to those commonly held perspectives, it will mean that even if you set boundaries, you will not keep them because you are afraid of those norms and beliefs. That's why you have to understand that you are conditioned, and then from there you'll know what to do. The last thing you can do that will help you not be manipulated is emotional independence or psychological independence. So, has someone close to you ever cried or expressed their dissatisfaction with your actions, and then you ended up doing something you're not supposed to do? That's, of course, a normal occurrence in life, right? That's when our emotional independence comes in. Because the main factor which enables manipulation is depending on another psychologically. You might depend on someone else for your happiness, joy, or peace, or even to live, because you might say, I can't live without them. The moment you are just in that space, it means that you are prone to manipulation. You'll be prone to manipulation because your source of happiness and satisfaction is the manipulator. So, for example, when your partner is unhappy because you've not done something for them, you also become unhappy. So, you end up doing as they wish so that you can both be happy. So, when your emotions are dependent on someone else, you will be prone to manipulation because, as we said before, with manipulation, someone toys with your emotions in order to control you. So, emotional independence is now where you are able to regulate your emotional well being without being excessively influenced by those around you. This means that you can be the only happy person in the room without being influenced much by how the other people are feeling. Your parents may be making negative remarks about you, but you are unbothered and don't feel that bad about yourself. You just don't feel that they can define you or toy with your emotions so that you can do something for them. It's not the easiest one for sure, but that doesn't mean that we can't do it. When you are able to view the actions of another person without them determining your emotions or your level of happiness or your level of peace, then you are free from their direct or indirect influence. And that's emotional independence. It will mean that someone cannot use your emotions to influence you to do as they wish. Emotional independence will also help you when you are physically dependent on someone else. Because you can be physically dependent on a manipulator, let's say money, or you share house together, or just some basic needs. So if you are dependent on them, it's pretty sure that they will use those physical assets to control you. Because they might use money. So when you are emotionally independent, it will mean that you can use their money because you don't have an option, but you are not letting the physical exchange of money get into your head. So you can just use their physical assets just in the physical space without feeling the need to reciprocate with your emotions. Of course, building your own physical independence really helps a lot, but when you are really stuck, don't let the physical gestures of a manipulator get into your head. It can be hard, but it's not possible. You just use them because of your situation without feeling emotionally indebted. Because the moment you feel emotionally indebted because someone is doing something to you in the physical space, it means your emotions have been compromised. And it means that you will be opening the door for manipulation. Hope that makes sense. It's not the easiest, but it is actually the best. You can use someone's money because you are just in that fix. Let's say you are living at home and your parents are manipulating you, but you can use it because you just know you are using it in the physical space, but it's not getting them into your head. It will take a bit of practice, but you can do it. So we cannot really avoid manipulation in our day-to-day life because it's everywhere. And what you can do is just be the kind of person who cannot be easily manipulated. Regardless of if you are dealing with a serial manipulator, a narcissist, or a loved one, you are the one who holds the key to your receptiveness to the manipulation. Start small by setting and upholding those boundaries, and then look at where there are leakage or the places where you are struggling to uphold those boundaries. And then now you look there. The only way is for you to really put in the inner work. So instead of focusing on learning about manipulation tactics or learning about NPD, as it's mostly being advised, focus more on putting in the work that will help you be the kind of person who's deeply secure, be the kind of person who's secure with their own boundaries, be the kind of person who understands their conditioning, who understands their pain, who understands their emotions, and then you'll be truly free. Hope that makes sense, guys. Until next time, see ya.